Hello, my name is Sable Scott and I'm from Carthage, North Carolina. I'm a junior at NC State studying agricultural science. This video is to provide a demonstration on how to create a bonsai tree arrangement. Bonsai, when translated, actually means planted in container. There are 1,200 books in 26 different languages about bonsai, most concluding that the ultimate goal of creating bonsai arrangements is to establish a miniaturized but realistic nature form. When they were first started and moved from China to Japan almost 1,200 years ago, bonsai trees were actually dwarf plants. This day and time, they appear to be dwarfs, but in all reality, they are normal everyday plants. Now that we have all of our materials out, the first thing we're going to do is take our plants out of the containers. So I'm going to start with my juniper here. And the side note, make sure you have a container to catch the soil. Roommates don't seem to like soil on the floor that you have to clean up later. So just do it over a container, and trash cans work as well. So what we're going to do is just kind of take this whole plant out. It'll kind of break apart, and like that soil goes everywhere. In which that container is done now, so you can just throw it away. So we're going to do our best to break apart this root system, which we're going to damage quite a few of them, but it'll be okay. We'll still have plenty left. And what we're trying to do is there's a single stem at the top, and that's what we're trying to break all the soil away from. So this process takes a little more, and you'll hear a lot of the roots ripping, but that's okay. Like I said, there's plenty still attached towards the top that will be okay. Ideal to wash them now, because if you take this one for example, we're not going to plant this as low as it was. So if we wash all that soil off, we'll be able to plant it a little higher, so it gives us our tree look. So I'm going to wash these. Okay, now that we've rinsed out the roots some, got quite a bit of the soil out of it, we're going to actually reduce the root mass down here by about a half. And this is going to allow the plant to put out new growth, new root growth. And we are going to save a few of these bigger roots. They look kind of cool that we might actually try to expose them in our container. So I'm going to cut these out by about a half. So it's just kind of, and you can use normal scissors for this. So we're just going to. And once again, just kind of leaving the one right here that I want to kind of show off. Just kind of leaving them be. All right, so that's pretty good right there. Cut that little bit off right there. All right. And these don't really have a lot to them as it is, so what we're going to do is just kind of cut these in half as a whole, like as a whole little plant. Just going to kind of cut them in half and let them be. Take some of these roots off. And the same goes with this. We're going to cut this one in half as well. Alright, so now we have two of those little sections and two of these and one big tree plant. So now we're just going to set these to the side and start on our container. So now it's time to actually start the construction of our arrangement. And most of the time you're going to want a container with drainage holes. Mine, however, did not have them, but that's okay. How we're going to fix that is I bought some of the glass rocks. So I'm just going to place those on the bottom. And what this does is it allows for the drainage. So from the soil, the water goes through, it goes and sits on these rocks rather than just sitting in our soil the whole time, because constant saturation on soil could cause mold and rotting to the root system. So now we're going to place a little bit of this soil in here, not a whole lot, but just some to kind of cover our glass rocks as it is. Okay, so now that I got a little bit in there, it's now time to stake our biggest plant here. So there's a lot of different ways we can go with this plant. You can kind of pick however you want it in your container and go from there. So what I have here is a floral stake, in which you can just buy these in packs of 10, and then floral wire, in which you can buy that different ways too. This is one of the thinnest wires that you can get, but it works just as well. So I'm going to roll out a piece here, and then once again, just using my scissors, going to cut a piece off. So now with the stake, you have to think that this stake is holding the tree up. So when we put it into our container, the roots will kind of hold it a little bit, but we need to make sure that top is also secured. So when you're placing the stake in there, make sure that it is long enough so it's helping support all the way down. So now I'm going to just kind of pick a spot and wire this to it. And also please remember that there are other things you can use for around the house to put in here if you don't have the wire and the floral pick here. So now you just kind of pick where you want it in your actual container, and we're going to actually place it in there. I hope you enjoyed my demonstration on how to make a bonsai tree arrangement, and I encourage you to make one of your own. They're a great way to be creative and add plants to your home or office. Thank you.